And if multiple offers, we'll compare to each. And so your spreadsheet may be narrow or it may be fairly wide. Will all depend on how many offers we receive on the property.
If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about buying and selling homes, click subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the latest tips for buying and selling. Hi, my name is Kitty Cheney, owner of Chandelier Property Group with eXp Realty, where we provide brilliant solutions. One way we do this is by helping you understand the process of buying and selling a home, the potential challenges, and the common roller coaster of emotions along the way. Challenges and stresses are reduced and often eliminated when one knows what to expect in advance. We call this sharing the light of knowledge. We've worked with so many people just like you, looking for help to buy or sell a home, and we love to serve. Whether moving in 9 days or 90 days, if you want to feel heard, informed, and comfortable, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our info is in the description below, so we can help you make a smooth move.
With step 3 of selling your home, we'll be reviewing the offer, or hopefully offers. More than just price, there are many terms to negotiate. Price, of course, is very important, but other terms can be more so, depending on what is important to you. For example, there is the down payment. A high down payment means they're more likely to close easily. Someone who has a high down payment, has a lot of money to put down on the purchase, is a stronger buyer. They're stronger financially. They're more likely to be able to close quickly and easily. And if there are any problems, they're more likely to have the cash to be able to cover those problems. And so a high down payment can be a very appealing characteristic to an offer. Earnest money. Earnest money is money that the buyer puts down in advance to declare their earnest intention of purchasing the home. And earnest money goes towards their down payment. It is not going to the seller or to the agents. So you don't get it, I don't get it, the buyer's agent doesn't get it. It is cashed and held in the broker's trust account. It is fully refundable if the buyer cancels for specific reasons by specific deadlines. However, if the seller cancels, if you cancel, then the buyer gets their earnest money back and a matching amount from you, the seller. And so it is desirable to the buyer to have high earnest money because it locks you in as the seller. We'll discuss later why it is also desirable to you as the seller to have high earnest money, because in some ways it also locks in the buyer. As a story to share with you, a friend of mine had some sellers who sold their home, got a nice price for it, got everything under contract and ready to go, and they were heading off to their new location, hadn't closed on the sale yet, but heading off to their new location. They needed to get there soon. And then something changed. Something big changed in their life, and they all of a sudden had to throw all those plans out the window, and they needed to come back. And in this case, because they were past all of those deadlines, and this was the seller needing to cancel the contract. They spoke with the buyer's agent. The buyers agreed, and the seller paid. The buyers got their earnest money back, and the seller paid the buyers a matching amount of earnest money, and they got to move back into their home. Sometimes things change. Sometimes things happen, and you need to get out of the deal, and this is the way out. And so it is important to the buyer that there is high earnest money because it locks the seller into the contract. It's harder to just cancel out at the last minute just for whatever reason. There is a cost to canceling the contract. But for buyers, it locks them in as well, because for them to get out after all the deadlines, they have to pay you that earnest money amount. And so it locks them in as well. It is good to have the earnest money be a higher amount because it locks in both parties and you both feel more confident and secure in the contract. Home warranty. Home warranty is another term to be considered. So a home warranty is something that is purchased at the time of closing, and it just protects the main major systems of the home if any challenges occur with it. Being willing to purchase a home warranty for the buyers, as a seller, being willing to purchase that for the buyers shows that you are confident in the condition of the home. And it is a great point to help the buyer feel more secure in the condition of the home and more confident in their decision to purchase the home. So that can be an excellent item to be included in the purchase contract. Then there are regular inclusions like appliances, sheds, things like that. If you're planning on taking some of that with you, then we need to disclose that up front, and then we can discuss it, negotiate it during this time of reviewing the offer. And if they're asking for something that you don't want to leave behind, then we can negotiate that back out. Deadlines. Tight deadlines make for a strong offer. So all those deadlines that protect the buyer's earnest money for them, and that after those deadlines, if they cancel, then the earnest money goes to you. We want nice tight deadlines. As the seller, we want nice tight deadlines that lock the buyer in sooner rather than later. And so we'll be looking at those and seeing how tight those are. Tight meaning shorter. The shorter the deadlines are, the sooner the buyer is locked into the purchase. And so we'll negotiate those if necessary. Time of possession. Time of possession is another point that can be negotiated. The contract is written such that the buyer owns the home immediately upon closing, upon recording the sale. But maybe you as a seller need an extra few days. Maybe the buyer, in order to make their offer more appealing, chooses to offer you an extra few days to move out, allow you a nice relaxed move. And so that can be a point that is negotiated, is that time of possession. Seller leaseback. You as the seller, maybe you're buying a new construction home that isn't quite done yet, but you need to make sure that this home is sold and done and closed before that. And you want to stay in the home an extra month or two after closing before your new construction home is done. Or for a variety of other reasons, sometimes a seller leaseback is desirable. And that is where the seller now pays rent to the buyer to live in the same home because the buyer now owns it and needs to pay on their mortgage. And so a seller leaseback could be a nice feature to be included. It can only be up to 60 days. They're not allowed beyond 60 days due to lender restrictions, but even up to 60 days can be very nice in some situations. So that can be something that we're negotiating for. Then there is the loan type. Conventional is the most common and normal loan type. You'll see that most often. FHA is also a very frequent loan type to see. FHA allows for lower credit, lower down payment, but it does have condition criteria. And so first-time home buyers or those who are stretching to be able to get into the home are often looking at an FHA loan. It's a great loan and it can work very well, but you do need to be aware that there is some condition criteria. Most homes are not going to have an issue with it, but if you have an older home, a home that is in disrepair, older meaning, early 1900s, and maybe it has tiny little basement windows in basement bedrooms that are not good egress in a fire. Maybe it's missing railings, stair railings. Things like that can come up as condition issues on an FHA loan. Peeling paint is a very common issue for an FHA loan. And so we'll talk about when we are listing your home whether we want to consider FHA loan buyers. If that's something that is going to work for this property, then it's a great option and it opens up to more buyers. If it's not going to work for this property, then we're not going to be able to look at FHA buyers. We won't be able to allow them to purchase the property if the property just simply won't go FHA, because it will have issues with the condition criteria that an FHA loan requires. Next is VA. VA is an awesome loan program, the Veterans Administration. It supports our soldiers with low down payment options and low payments, lower interest, lower payments, lower down payment. All of those are wonderful ways to support our soldiers, our veterans that have given so much to defend this country. However, one of the ways that they take care of our veterans is they have very tight condition criteria, tighter even than FHA. And so again, we'll be looking at the condition of your property to determine if VA loan is something that we want to look at VA buyers, or if we just simply, if the property has too many condition issues, then we won't be able to look at VA buyers because VA won't allow for a loan on that property. And so we'll talk about that at the time that we list it. But that loan type is something to be looked at when we are looking at these offers. There are over 100 different legal forms that could apply to your transaction. And there's no way for me to cover them all in this video, so we will talk about which forms apply to your transaction at the time, and we'll make sure that we're using the right forms and addressing the right issues. We will plug all of the terms of each offer. So if we just have one offer, it's really easy to look at that one offer, but we'll plug all of the terms for it into a spreadsheet that compares that one offer side by side with the way that we listed it. So if we listed it for $500,000 and we got a $500,000 offer with some concessions coming out of it, we will look at it side by side, and we'll look at how those numbers come out at the end, what the net proceeds are to you. And that spreadsheet makes it very easy for you to look side by side at, okay, this is what I was planning on getting, and this is what the offer is. And there's numerous numbers in the offer. It can be confusing, but when we put them side by side, it helps it really narrow down to where you can see very easily what your net proceeds are and all the different terms and how they compare. And whether it's just one offer or 20, depending on which type of market we're in, we'll be able to quickly and easily go through them on that spreadsheet, comparing them side by side. And I will call the buyer's agents with questions. I'll ask any questions about the offer, any questions about the buyer's qualifications. I will call their lender with questions and asking them questions about how well pre-approved they are. I will compare on that to how it was currently listed, I mentioned already, and if multiple offers, we'll compare to each. And so your spreadsheet may be narrow or it may be fairly wide. Will all depend on how many offers we receive on the property. We will talk through all those various terms and determine our response. We have 3 options for our response. We can accept an offer. If we accept, congrats, you're under contract. If we reject, that is an option. I never suggest it. We can reject an offer though. I guess the one time I do recommend rejecting is if we have received multiple offers and we've accepted one, then we must by default reject the remainder. The third option that we have is we can counter for better terms. Maybe we like most of the terms to the property, to that offer, but there's a couple things. Maybe it's the deadlines, maybe it's the inclusions, whatever it is. If there is some terms that we're not happy with, we can counter back and say, we like your offer, but change this one point, and then we'll accept and we'll counter back. If the buyer accepts our counter, then congrats, you're under contract. But you need to know that once they receive that counter, they have the same 3 options. They can accept, reject, or counter back. And that's how negotiation works, is we go back and forth until we're all happy with it. If they counter, if those buyers counter back to us, we have the same 3 choices yet again. If they reject, then I will call to find out why they rejected, and we may rework the offer. If they accept, then great, we're under contract. Congratulations. This time period can feel both exciting and a bit uncertain as we are waiting for the buyer's response while we are in those negotiations. However, once you are under contract, you're ready for step 4. I'll see you on the next video.
If you appreciated the knowledge shared in this video, click follow and subscribe for more videos on buying and selling homes. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and want to feel heard, informed, and comfortable along the way, comment below. or even better, call me. I look forward to being the brilliant solution you can't wait to share.